What's going on, guys? Aaron Goldstein here. So in this video, I want to share with you 4 ways to be more productive in your phone flipping business. When you apply and understand these 4 ways, you can actually work less and make more money because you're putting more focus on the things that matter the most. So to give you an example is, guys, I like to work out every now and then. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. In the past, though, I was really into working out. So I would work out I'd be at the gym for 4 hours at the gym. So I'm at the gym for 4.5 hours working out. But was I working out the whole time? Well, I worked out a little bit. I did do some working out. But, I'd run into some friends and I'd have a 10-minute conversation here, 15-minute conversation here, 10-minute conversation over here. I'd stop a rep and I'd check my phone for, 5 minutes in between sets. So to get the actual, to get the actual benefit of working out, instead of being in the gym 4.5 hours, I could have condensed that down into let me get this a little bit clearer. I could have condensed that down into about an hour and a half if I stopped having all the conversations, stopped checking my phone for 5 to 10 minutes every now and then, and I'm talking about working out, maybe a minute rest in between a set and then back into another set. I could have condensed it into an hour and a half. So I could have got done what used to take 4.5 hours into an hour and a half. So you guys understand how, because I could have gotten done the same exact workout, I would have just cut off all the fluff and the bullshit. So I want to share with you guys 4 ways to do that in your business. There's a lot of people, guys, that actually work harder than me in the phone flipping business. They spend more time working and they work harder, but I make significantly more money than they do. And it's easier work, not because I'm better, not because I just shaved, not because I wear tank tops every single day of the year, regardless if it's 0 degrees or 100 degrees, simply because I understand these 4 things, and these 4 things I'm going to share with you guys are always kind of running in my head. So just like in the gym, how I could cut down for 4.5 hours to an hour and a half, after you understand and apply these things to your business, you may notice that you can actually work less and be more productive because you're doing more direct income producing actions. You're being more potent with your time, etc., etc. So number 1, what's number 1? Number 1 is actually a negative. It's called don't fall off the boat. Don't fall off the boat. So what does falling off the boat mean? Falling off the boat is when you spend time doing anything that doesn't directly relate to what we teach in phone flipping. And in phone flipping, it's pretty fucking simple. And if you've been following me, or especially if you're in next level, you know what I'm about to say. It's A, putting up ads in the platforms like we say to put them up. B, it's responding to all the leads. So when you put up the correct ads in the correct way on the correct platforms, the ads will stick. They always stick. If they're not sticking, that's something that you're doing wrong. So you need to fix that. After the ads stick, you're going to get a bunch of leads. The next step is you got to be responding to leads. You got to be spending your time responding to leads. Spend time responding to leads. Responding to leads, having conversations with leads. Number 4 is following up with leads, doing the reach out method. And 5 is going through training in the back office. So you could fall off in any number one of these areas. The first thing you could do is that's the proven path. So ways to fall off are just doing silly stuff like, instead of spending 4 hours putting up ads and responding to leads and doing the reach out method, you spend 4 hours watching YouTube videos on how to get past iCloud locked phones. That's called falling off the boat. It's a term I coined. You're falling off the boat. You're doing shit we're not telling you to do. You're probably not going to make any money. Another thing would be, wholesaling. And you can make money wholesaling. There's people that make money wholesaling. But some people, they spend all their time wholesaling. They're looking for the best wholesaler. Let me find the guy that's going to pay me the absolute best money. Tell you a little secret. If you find the best person that pays you another $20, $30 a phone, which is usually where it is if you have a direct connection, and I would know this because I see the price sheets from different people. Being able to offer another $30 a phone is not going to get you rich. If you're doing $1,000 to $2,000 a month in sales, finding someone to pay another $10, $20, $30 a phone is not going to fix your problems. Your problems are deeper than that. Your problems are your ads and your negotiating. I already know what they are because I've helped so many people succeed in this business. It's ads and negotiating. It's not being able to offer another $30 on an iPhone XX Max that's going to get you rich. That's not what it is. It's focusing on the fundamentals. Now, you say, Aaron, do you judge people that do this? Well, absolutely not. A, because I've fallen off the boat a couple times myself. There's been times where I've spent a couple hours watching YouTube videos trying to figure out how to get past iCloud locked phones. Couldn't find a solution to it. Never found the video that worked. Another thing is making a website. I'm going to make a website, and I'm just going to have everyone ship me phones. I've looked into that. But and I know I don't fall off the boat anymore, which is why you see my numbers, which is why I did $100,000 last month in sales, because the last few months I've already made these mistakes, so I kind of was able to self-correct myself. But anytime I've ever fallen off the boat, I get back on like in an hour or two. Some people, though, they fall off the boat, and they start swimming in the opposite direction of the boat. And then all of a sudden, a month has gone by, they're 5 miles off from the boat, you look at your business, and you're not where you want your business to be. Because they fell off the boat and they didn't get back. And it could be anything. I mean, it could be using negotiating stuff that Grant Cardone says. Grant Cardone's negotiating stuff works, but you want to use Grant Cardone's negotiating stuff or Aaron's negotiating stuff? You want to use my stuff because it's specific to phone flipping. Grant Cardone might be sharing a strategy that's geared more to face-to-face selling or a 6-month selling process where he's negotiating a $500 million deal. The techniques, and there's certain strategies and techniques that are needed for a $500 million deal that are different than when you're negotiating a $150 or $500 phone. You guys following me with that? So number one, don't fall off the boat. Stick to the fundamentals. The closer you get to the fundamentals, the more successful you're going to be in the phone flipping business. Number two, focus on big things. You got to focus on big things. Focus on big things. Focus on big things. You want to focus on big things. So, you don't want to be focusing on small stuff. Like, what's this little detail mean? Or what's the difference between CDMA and GSM? Some people ask me that, and I say, well, one's got 3 letters and one has 4 letters. Now, I'm sure there's more of a technical reason behind that, but I don't know, and I don't care. And obviously, and I'm not here to brag, I'm just trying to make a point. Since I did $100,000 in sales last month, a good $20,000, $30,000 in fucking profit from phone flipping. If I don't need to know the difference, you probably don't need to know the difference. I'm focused on big things. I'm focused on picking up phones and making profits. I'm also focused on enough profits. I like to make $100 per item I pick up. I very rarely pick up any item now where I make less than that. On high-end phones, I'm making $100 to $300 per high-end item that I pick up. Because I'm focused on big things, right? You might say, well, Aaron, I'm going to go to the garage sale, and there's all these things, and there's all these DVDs I could buy. I could buy a stack of 100 different DVDs, and I'm going to get them for $2 a piece. And I can list each DVD for about $11, $10 on eBay. Well, see, you can do that, absolutely, and you will make money, but that's not really focused on a big thing, because after you calculate the time, and it might average out to like $10, $15 an hour. I like to focus on big things. I want to drive. I want to pick up the phone. I want to make $100 plus profit. That way, at the end of the month, I got something to look at. I actually did something. I didn't spend my time focusing on small stuff. This also applies to let's see if that's the next thing. This also applies to if you make a mistake, right? If you make a mistake, you want to move on. You want to go to the next thing. We're all going to make mistakes. I've made mistakes before. I bought an iPhone 5S that turned out to be an iPhone 5. I bought phones that had cracked screens because I didn't look close enough. I made a mistake. I learned a lesson. I didn't dwell on it. I moved on real fast. I kept it moving. And then that's step number 4. But that kind of ties down into step number 3, which is you want to focus on big things. You focus on big things, you're going to make money. Big money. Focus on small things, you're going to make small money. Usually takes the same amount of effort to make small money as it does to make big money. Might as well focus on big money. I lose deals all the time because I might make $80, $85, $90 a phone, but it's not at the $100 mark. And for a higher price point, if it's an iPhone Max or a Note 9 or something like that, I'm not going to buy it. so I won't get that deal. However, because of that, I keep myself at level to where I don't start to dip down. What the hell? If I don't keep myself in check and focus on big things, eventually I'll be buying phones that I'm making $35, $40 profit a phone, and that's just silly. That doesn't. I've never done that consciously. There's a couple times I've made mistakes, but I've never consciously bought a phone. So I'll turn down phones so I got time to focus on the big phones. Number 3, intense focus. Intense focus. Intense focus. So what a lot of people do is they don't really have intense focus when they're working their business. They will, they'll open up, they wake up, they might, scroll on Facebook for an hour and a half. There might be 1 or 2 leads they respond to. They respond to the leads. Leads tell them to fuck off. They get a little discouraged, so they, watch people's stories. They, watch some YouTube. Oh, I need to get motivated. Let me go watch some motivational Tony Robbins, some Grant Cardone, some Gary Vee. Oh, all right, 20 minutes later, let me respond to a couple more leads, blah, 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 blah. What I do is when I'm working the business, I have intense focus. So I'm not on Facebook. I'm literally not doing anything else except responding to leads. So because of that, in a good hour and a half, I can go through a solid 30, 40 leads, along with doing the reach out method to 20 people, and I usually close a bunch of those deals. Because instead of having my attention split among all these other things, when you're like statistically and scientifically stupider when your attention split and you're multitasking. So I take all my attention, all my energy, all my focus, and I focus just on responding to leads. And I do it when I'm putting up ads. I'm like, all right, I'm going to put up ads. So you say, Aaron, it takes me 45 minutes to put up ads. It takes me like 10 minutes. Because I don't have Facebook open. When someone messages me on Facebook, I don't respond. Sometimes I don't even have Facebook on my phone. I have days where I'll just remove Facebook from my phone completely. So I'm just focusing on work. So I'm instead of the, someone that's putting 20% focus on their business, 20% attention on their business, I'm putting 100% attention when I'm working the business, which allows me to go through the leads. It also allows me to build up momentum. And the other benefit is there's actually a momentum that's built up as you have intense focus. So I might say something a little bit wrong to one lead and I kind of fuck up the deal, but because I'm having intense focus, I can see that I made a mistake. I'll self-correct myself. And 15 minutes later, when I'm in a similar situation, I'll say better things and I'll close them. You can't even build up that momentum when you're just kind of half-assing it. So number 3, intense focus. A lot of you guys, if you just do intense focus, you'll notice an increase because you're sitting there. I mean, mom will text me for dinner, and I don't even see the text till a few hours. It doesn't even register in my reticular activation system. And when it's not even a focus, because my 100% full focus is I need to respond to all these leads and I need to pick up some motherfucking phones. And when I do that and I have intense focus, I'm able to close. Usually, not all the time, but usually. Number 4 is moving forward quickly. So everyone makes mistakes. This ties into level 2 a little bit. Everyone makes mistakes. You're going to fuck up some shit. Shit's not going to go good. It's totally fine. But to maximize your time, you want to move forward quickly. So if you make a mistake, you buy the phone, you just trusted the person, it was iCloud locked, you made a mistake, you lost some fucking money. You can do 1 or 2 things when that happens. 1, you can get on Facebook, you can make a big deal about it, you can make a status, all your friends will comment on it, and then you'll feel real good an hour and a half later, but you won't have done anything. Or, whenever it happens to me, I say, all right, made a little mistake, it is what it is, I'm going to suck it up, I'm going to get back to business. The other day, I went to pick up, it was a 6S Plus crack screen. I forgot to ask if the LCD was good and they could factory reset it. I got there. The LCD was shit. It was all fucked up. I don't even know if it powered on, and it was iCloud locked because I ran the IMEI. So I was a little pissed off there. I could have done 1 or 2 things. I could have went into a spiral where I just got in my head, fuck this sucks, blah, blah, blah. Could have gotten Facebook and made a big status, blah, 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 and people would have felt sorry for me. Or I said, I stopped. I said, all right, Aaron, I know you're feeling a little bit bad about this. It sucks you drove out here, but whose fault is it? It's your fault, Aaron. Now on, moving forward, just make sure whenever you go pick up an iPhone, you remind them to factory reset it. So I made a mental note, took me 20 seconds, and I moved forward. Who's going to pick up more phones? The person that every time a bad situation happens, they dwell on it for hours, and then they make Facebook statuses which reinforce it, or they post in groups, or do any number of stuff like that, or the person that makes a mental note and then focuses on other stuff. And then when I start focusing on other stuff, and I pick up a couple other phones relatively fast, then I'm no longer worried about that bad situation because I've gotten some wins under my belt. You guys understand that? Another pro tip, whoop, little food hopping around there. Another pro tip is some people actually enjoy losing. They enjoy losing. They enjoy it when their business is not being successful because they get to post in Facebook groups and they get to get attention. And people can actually become addicted to it and addicted to losing. Whenever something, you guys, I did $100,000 last month. You think that Aaron's life is just fucking, Aaron the phone flipper. Nothing bad ever happens to him. None of his ads don't ever not stick. People don't ever flake. People don't ever show up with the wrong phone. People don't ever open cases up with him against PayPal and eBay. That shit happens all the time. However, I fix it. I make a big effort in my head to not brag about it, because if I start posting about it, all my friends, which is you phone flippers out there, you'll kind of support me, but then I'll get addicted to that, and then I'll subconsciously start attracting more of those negative situations. Now, that doesn't mean you don't need to ask questions. You want to ask questions, but when you ask questions, you don't want to make it a big sad story. You just want to ask the question and get it done. So like Feldon was in our original VIP program. In the original VIP program, you could set up a call to talk to me whenever you wanted. Feldon would set up a lot of calls with me. And Feldon would have a lot of questions, but all of his questions were always right to the point. So it was never like a big sad story about this or this. Hey, Aaron, this is, what do you think? And I would tell him, and it's all right. What do you think? This, what do you think? Blah, blah, blah. And he would go. He would ask like 10 questions, but it would all be nuts and bolts. And it was never like, well, this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened, and this happened. It was, what should I do in this situation? And I would tell him. And then after I would give him the advice, he wouldn't talk for another 10 minutes about his life story. He would say, all right, got it, and go on to the next thing. That's why he's so successful, because people that actually tell a big story, a lot of times they don't even want the answer. They just want to feel loved. They want to feel important. They want to feel recognized. They want to get, they want people to tell them, they want people to kind of support them. They want people to kind of hear their story. They care more about the story than getting to the end result. Because if they really cared about getting to the end result, they would just post a specific question that has to do with getting to the end result instead of the big story. And I understand that. So I see when people post, and sometimes I just don't respond to people in certain groups, because I know that this person actually they don't really want an answer. They really just kind of want to feel, they just kind of want to, get on get on the thing of, oh, they feel good, blah, 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 blah. And everyone says, yeah, that situation sucks, but they don't actually want a solution. Keisha does this a lot too. Keisha, she'll post questions, but all the questions are very good worded questions. It's not the long story. Here's all the bad things that happened. It's, this is what happened. What do I do about it? This is what happened. What do I do? This is what happened. What do I do? Probably why Keisha in 2 months went from $3,000 a month to $21,000 a month in sales, because she ran into problems just like everyone else does, but she cared more about getting the problem fixed and actually making money than being heard and having a big pity party where everyone has this big pity party on Facebook for hours and everyone's all hyped up and no one's making any money. So number 3 is move forward quickly. When things happen, move forward quickly. So let's go over it. Recap. Number 1, don't fall off the boat. Focus on the fundamentals. 2, focus on big things. You want to focus on big things. Not small things, not small money, big things. 3, intense focus. When you're working, instead of close off everything, don't be distracted. Have all your attention, intense focus on the specific task. Probably it's responding to leads, working on your negotiating, and closing people. Or if you're going through training, don't have Aaron's videos up in Next Level and Netflix and the radio. We're just watch the training so you can absorb the most. And number 4, move forward quickly. When things happen, which they will in your business, shit's gonna happen, move forward quickly. Acknowledge it. Put a solution together for it. If you need to ask a question right to the point. Move forward quickly and get on to the next thing. Try these 4 things out. Let me know if they help increase your sales and your overall productivity in your phone flipping business.